Therefore, don't allow negative thoughts to park for too long into your mind. Negative thoughts park. There are times where thoughts comes either as a Mini Cooper, either as a bus, either as a taxi, or either as an SUV. They come and park in your brain. How long are those things parking in your brain? Therefore, if you want to manage your brain, your happiness, your love, how things are happening to you, yes, how are you doing? How is life? Oh, it's another day. It's another moment. A moment where we connect. A moment where we share. I do believe and experience that when you see people who are different from you and you also being different from them, there's a question which one asks himself or herself: why are we different? Of course, any normal person, I do believe you're normal, but also I do believe I'm normal. You have found yourself, as I find also myself at times, feeling good, feeling great, but there are times also where you find yourself, you feel angry. Angry, when you wake up, you are angry. Of course, there are also times where you feel confused. Confused. You don't know where to go, you don't know what to do, and where to start. But of course, there are times where you are happy, you are celebrating life. And I want to tell you that most of these things are affected by how we look at things. How do you look at things? How I perceive things? How I view life? Yes, also how you look at yourself. I do believe on a day-to-day basis or minute or second, you recall memories. You have got memories which at the end they come to your mind, and either they depress you, either they make you happy where you smile, or either they make you where you don't know what to do. Sometimes we go through illusions of things which we are imagining. And if we all look at that and we trace why at times we are happy, why at times we are sad, why at times we are as we have been, if you trace it back, you will find that this goes back to the brain and the thoughts, the brain and how you think. Of course, normal working brain, it's a great tool. It's a great instrument which has been given to us as a gift. Your brain, my brain. My brain is a great tool which either can work for me or either work against me. A human being has been given two things which are very much important. It's your heart, which pumps, it's your brain. These two, they work in an operating process as a part of your engine, and they are also connected to my emotions and to my feelings through neurology. Therefore, they are connected to my brain. My feelings, my emotions, how I am, quickly speaks to the brain, and the brain translates whatever comes either from whatever emotions or feelings I have. And when they do that, they can either depress you, they can either make you happy. And at times, they pull things from the storage. You will recall at some time I spoke about that my brains have capability to facilitate 90,000 thoughts in a day. Now, therefore, your brain is a tool, it's an equipment which can work for you. I mean, if it is able to facilitate and to do transactions of about 90,000 thoughts in a day. It's a machine. I mean, think about your computer, think about your cell phone, think about your equipment, how many items it processes. Now, 90,000 thoughts in a day. It's a great thing. Now, according to Dr. John Kewu, when he speaks about the brain, which manages us on a day-to-day basis, he said 3 things which are very critical about the brain or about the thoughts. He says, of course, you are able to think 24/7, and that includes dreams. That's thinking. You are capable of thinking 24/7, and again, you think in a continuous way, which is very much important because you have an instrument, a tool which can either work for you or work against you. But again, the second thing which John Kewu said, when it is able to think 24/7, he says the mind, the brain exaggerate things at times. It exaggerates. It will take a small issue and make it a big issue. It will take a needle and put it in a wheelbarrow. It will take a tiny thing. That's why even in our engagements, at home, at work, and so on, you might find that small things are creating a lot of confusion, a lot of challenges of how you spoke to me, how you said whatever you have said, but it was a very tiny thing. But the mind can balloon it, can exaggerate it. The other thing which the mind does, which we need to think about when we think about other days when we are happy, not happy, other days when we are laughing and joking with other people, other days when we are reserved. The third thing which John Kewu said our mind does, he says the majority of the thoughts which we think are useless. The majority of thoughts which we think are useless. Therefore, some of the things which we need to take charge of is that our mind, our brains can trick us. Yes, our mind can trick us. Our mind can make us to see things which are not there. Our mind can make us to interpret things which have not been said. Our mind can make us to look at things which are not there as part of illusions, as part of perceptions. Because what? It can trick us. Unless you take notice of what your mind or your brain does, it can trick you for most of your life. There are other people who are living life where they've been tricked by the brain, where they've been tricked by the mind. Because remember, based on your brain, based on what you know, based on your experiences, which the brain pulls from storage, it processes such, and then it makes you see what you see. It also makes you experience what you want to experience, and also it makes you react in the way you are reacting. And that's very much important. You need to look at that to say, oh, by the way, what is the basis of what is coming to me? What is the basis of what I'm saying? What is the basis of the way I'm looking at things? What has been my experience? Some of us, we are battling to move because our brains, our minds, our thoughts are still stuck on the experience. Maybe somebody spoke to you in a different way. Maybe somebody hurt you. Maybe somebody said this to you. You are still stuck because your brain is always bringing such to you. Now, I have said that you must look at 3 things. 1, you are able to think 24/7, therefore continuous way. 2, your brains have got the capability to exaggerate things. 3, take note that yes, your brain have capability of thinking majority of things which are useless. And therefore, within that, it will make you to react the way possibly you have been reacting. Therefore, depending on how our brain is working, you might have been hurt because how your brain processes things. You know, I've seen couples, I've seen parents and children, I've seen at work manager and supervisor, I've seen many places, either even within the house of religions, where people are either preaching or talking, where sometimes a person will say they are talking about me while they know nothing about you, because this is what your brain does. It processes things. Yes, and sometimes your brain will tell you things which have not been said, because you are processing such, and therefore you might find yourself, you are hurt, or when you are hurt, you might also sometimes hurt other people on the basis of what your brain is saying, which are not factual, or there is no evidence towards that. How many people have been killed because of perceptions? To say, when I look at him, when I look at her, she seems like a witch, he seems like a witch, or it seems it's a thief, and so on. How many people? Because of what the brain processes. Therefore, you need to think about how your brain works. You need to understand how your brain works. Yes, sometimes you might be hating life and also hating those who seems to be happy outside you, as your thoughts are wired either on negative things or positive view. How is your brain wired? Because you might be hating other people. You know, you might be hating yourself on things which have not been said. I've seen when people ask for explanations or elaborations, when somebody has said a sentence or word, when you ask for elaborations, you realize that you took it too far. You have wasted your energy, you have wasted everything on the basis of something which the person doesn't mean that. What should we do? Because this brain, this mind, these thoughts sometimes can hurt us, sometimes can make us feel depressed. You know, when you are depressed, it's because at that time your thoughts are inviting all other old thoughts from the memory, and it brings all together, and then you go down, feel more depressed. If you are happy, your brain is pulling all scenarios, all information stored, which brings happiness and joy to you. How is your brain working? Is your brain able to differentiate reality, perception, and fantasies? Because sometimes you are killing yourself because of fantasies. Fantasies are not reality. Sometimes you are hating yourself because of perception. And perception is not always a reality. You need it sometimes. If you want to manage what your brain is telling you, you need to do statistics. I know many people don't like numbers, but you need to do statistics. Statistics is to quickly check how many times am I saying what happened to me really happened to me. Because there are times where one incident has happened to you, but you will find that your mind is using qualitative statements. Qualitative statements is to say, this is too much, it has happened to me a lot, and not only me, and so on. Therefore, it is bringing qualitative statements, and qualitative statements that sometimes they hurt you. But if you start to quantify, to say, but am I true? Truly, it's how many times? Is it 2 times? Is it 3 times? Is it what? Against what? Against how many times? You will find that when you start to quantify something which your mind ballooned it is not that big, or it is not that difficult. Therefore, don't allow negative thoughts to park for too long into your mind. Negative thoughts park. There are times where thoughts comes either as a Mini Cooper, either as a bus, either as a taxi, or either as an SUV. They come and park in your brain. How long are those things parking in your brain? Therefore, if you want to manage your brain, your happiness, your love, how things are happening to you, don't allow things to park for too long into your mind. The other thing which you need to do, which I have done in my life, don't irrigate or feed something which you don't want when it is in your brain. Don't feed it. Don't irrigate it. Because if you do irrigate it, it will germinate in your thought as a thought. It will grow. It will emerge as a great thought. Therefore, something which you don't like, something which you don't love to stay in your mind, don't irrigate it. No. What can you do? Be careful. Be careful what you store in your subconscious. Yes, any thought or any saying which happens to you will not hurt you unless you accept it as true and you start believing it. People say things here, wherever we are, whether you're walking the street, wherever you have been, whether at work, people say things. But anything which people say to you, which you don't take it as true and believe it, it doesn't hurt you. If people say you are ugly and you don't believe it and you don't accept it, it doesn't hurt you. Sometimes if people tell you you are dark and you know you are dark, you don't deny the truth. Therefore, what is your mind? How is your mind working? Because sometimes you are hating yourself because of things which you have stored in your subconscious. We have to learn to unlearn the wrong things which has happened to us before. If we want to change life, we need to learn to unlearn the wrong things which has happened to us. We need to learn new thinking. We need to learn new behaviors, because if we do so, your life will start to change. Many of us, we are stuck where we are on the basis of whatever people have said to us, and our minds manipulated it, and then it became a big issue and we are starting to believe it. If you start not to believe what people are keeping on telling you, if people are saying you are stupid and you start believing that you are stupid, there's no way you will go. Then you become stupid. If people keep on telling you, no, you are wise, you are bright, you are intelligent, if you start believing that, you will start to see that also new thinking getting into you, and it changes the way you look at things. Yes, I think before we react, before we act on things, can we help ourselves by being aware of the kind of thoughts which we have, and therefore categorize thoughts which are positive, categorize thoughts which are negative, and also throw them away because they are negative. Throw things away which you don't want to see them in your life, because if you categorize them and you still believe them, then there's no way you're going. We need to look at the consequences of whatever thoughts is bringing to us before we act. Many of us, we jump into things, we are then beaten. There are people who have been beaten by only jumping into their own conclusions. There are even people who have been arrested because they've only heard one word, they didn't digest its consequences. Either your partner might tell you to say, this person has done this thing to me. Before you even digest it in your mind, you rush, and your energy, your feelings, and you go and act, and you are arrested for things. If you thought well, you have realized that you have to address it in a different way. The issue which I'm bringing here to us is how our mind works. Take note of that. Therefore, when I started mind to work, my thinking was, let me help myself, how my mind works. And when I know how my mind works, it will help me how I react. Because if I plant and irrigate positive thoughts and weed out all thoughts which are bad and with the bad consequences, I start to be good. Therefore, can I start planting in my mind? Can I start planting in my life? It starts with the thoughts. It starts in the mind. Your mind is an instrument, it's a tool which is very powerful to you. When you start seeing these towering buildings, it's because somebody started to think about them, and their mind and thoughts brought positive things. If you see computers, laptops, cell phones, somebody started to think in that manner, and by that thinking, at the end they brought into reality. What are you irrigating in your mind, in your thoughts? I want to conclude by giving us ourselves that we should be mindful of what we constantly listen to. What do you constantly listen to? What do you like to hear? Sometimes it is either music, either it is gossip, either it is whatever stories, either it's documentary. What do you love to listen to? Type of music. Do you like? Therefore, if you like Vuma, then you will enjoy life to be faster. If you love rhythm, things which are cool, you will still also see that your life will be similar to that. What do you listen to mostly, and what do you talk to yourself about mostly? Is it positive things or is it negative things? What do you talk to yourself? I talk to myself. I don't believe you also do. What do you talk to yourself? Because these thoughts, they might be either hating you, they might be either making you happy. What do you like to see on a regular basis? Where do you go to watch movies? What kind of movies do you like to see? Because whatever you mostly constantly see, constantly hear, constantly listen to, you end up becoming. What do you really love to read about? Because reading is also feeding my brain. You need to be careful. What are you reading about? Because this is similar to frequency. This is similar to wavelength. Our mind works, our thoughts works in a frequency, similar to a radio, similar to a TV, similar to waves, radio waves, which works. Which station are you on high frequency or low frequency or radio frequency? Which frequency are you in? Because that might determine how your life and how your mind works. Do you want to change things in your life? Do you want to improve things in your life? Change the way you look at things. If you change the way you look at things, then mind to work will start to help you. Will start to make you realize that your mind is in your hand. Your mind, you have the capability of shifting it to where you want to go. And when you shift it to where you want it to go, it takes you there. Where is it your mind taking you? Most of us, we are hurt by what goes through our minds. My friends, colleagues, partners, I want to help you that mind to work should work for you. How your thoughts work. Manage them. And if you manage them, you become a better person. If you leave them just to become default and go wherever they want, wild way, you also become wild. It's important to think about managing your thoughts. I thank you very much for the time and opportunity that we are here together. God bless. Thank you. Thank you very much. I really would like to appreciate the time and the opportunity you take to watch what we present. Yes, I'm yours, Dr. Chililo Thomas Razirani of the Chikobi clan. Of course, I hail from the Limpopo province. In short, your self-introspection speaker who helps you to see yourself. I appreciate the time. What we would like to invite you to do is really to say, yes, can you like our videos? Can you also subscribe to our channel? And also share these videos to other people, because the value is on adding to other people. Yes, check the space for the new work, for the new videos. Yes, watch our website www.mindtowork.co.za for events which can be upcoming, so that we also meet and with each other. We really appreciate the time and the opportunity you take to add value to your own life, and also to harvest what you will use to add value to the other people. We thank you very much. God bless.